Good morning, Rotarians. Thank you for joining us. This club meeting is called to order. Awesome. Hey, shortly I'll be sharing my screen and leading us through another fun presentation to direct the conversation. Periodically, I'll bring that screen share down so we can see each other's beautiful and friendly faces and engage in more dialogue. Family and friends are always welcome to our club meetings, so don't hesitate to invite someone like maybe your dog trainer. Feel free to speak out as you would in an in-person meeting, but if you're not using your microphone, be sure to put yourself on mute, or maybe I'll do it at the cost of a club fine.
Your presidency has pretty much been moot.
It has been moot. I'm tongue-tied this morning. It's because you're so outstanding out there. Hey, welcome everybody to the Fortuna Sunrise Rotary Club meeting for April 28th, 2021. Volume 43 of my presidential year. We have an amazing Rotary Club, and I am so thankful to be a part of it. At this time, I'll bring that screen share down, and we'll introduce some guests. Let's see here. Who do we got in the house? We've got Alison Sterling, who will be our speaker today. Allison, thanks for joining us. And I see the...
Muted, thank you.
Oh, you're so very welcome. Thank you. And it looks like just the normal bunch of awesome folks that show up every Wednesday. So thank you for showing up every Wednesday. Yeah. So let's keep her going, shall we? Might as well. Like this. So usually at this time we would be doing the flag salute, but since the meeting is virtual and some of us may not be wearing pants, why not a little bit of American history lesson so we don't have to stand up? Do you know on this day in 1948, Igor Stravinsky conducted the premiere of his American ballet, Orpheus. And this was at the city center of music and drama, which is now New York City Ballet. And if it's any connotation, I listened to it while I was making this Rotary presentation. It was very, very, very dramatic. And so maybe this meeting will be, who knows? Herb Colby. Oh, wait, no. Inspirational message. I'm all over the place this morning. Here's the inspirational message of the day. I always did something I was a little not ready to do. I think that's how you grow. And when that moment of, wow, I'm not really sure I can do this, and you push through those moments, that is when you have a breakthrough. Okay, now Herb, your time has come, my friend. The four-way test, Herb Colby, take it away.
The things we all say and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
That's it. Thank you, Herb. Fantastic job on that. Hey, and announcements. I'd like to send a big congratulations out to our new board members who've taken on the responsibility of sitting on our Fortuna Sunrise Rotary Board for the next 3 years, I believe is the term. Carrie Anderson, Chris Broadstock, and Penny Frigeau. Salute. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's a great way to get behind the scenes, hear all the conversations about all the cool things our clubs does, and just have your voice heard. And love to see some female energy getting on that board too. So thank you so much for your service. And Flags on Main Street's coming up May 31st. Rick, you have any additional stuff? I think we need some extra folks to help out.
Yeah, the May 31st Memorial Day is coming up pretty quickly, and there'll be some of the key people will be out of town that day. So we are going to be looking for people to sign up to participate in that. So just put it on your calendar now so you don't miss out. But May 31st is coming up, so put it on your calendar for flags. Thank you.
All right.
What time, Rick?
We don't know yet. It's a month away, so we'll let you know. It'll be morning and evening, but you know, we need more people in the evening than we do in the morning, so keep that in mind too.
Awesome. Any other announcements that the folks from the club need to make? Anything coming up? Excitement? Okay. I know. It's a time of not many events, but here we go. Speaking of-
Simon,
yeah,
would now be an okay time for me to share what I emailed you?
please, Heather. Yeah, Heather, take it
Okay.
away.
So the Redwood Regional Economic Development Commission is doing a Do It for the Hugs campaign, and they're looking for people to do PSAs on if you choose to get vaccinated, why you got vaccinated, and kind of promoting that. So if that's something you're interested in participating, I will put my email in the chat and just send me an email and I can forward you the information.
Cool. I don't know if there's enough interest too. I could ping it out to the whole club if you're interested. How about a quick show of hands? Anybody want some more information about? I see 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I see enough hands rolling up. You know what, Heather, you sent it over to me yesterday. Just forward it on to the club.
Yep. Great, thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Better put a little reminder in my notes here. Remind club about.
Simon, what about if we use that as a group message from Fortuna Sunrise to the community?
Yeah, I mean that's something we could all talk about if we're in. I didn't see like over 50%, but I did see a good 30-40% of us interested. But
I think Arcata Sunrise Rotary, I think, did that.
okay. Well, how should we go about doing this? Maybe when I send out the group message to the club, if you're interested, if we get enough buy-in, like, I don't know, 70% of the membership or something, 50% of the membership is interested, let's make it happen. Either, I don't know, do a socially distanced photo shoot where we're all spread out, or who knows, come up with some way that we could capture the essence of our club. I guess we could do a screenshot from a Zoom meeting. That would be very much sign of the times.
When they say PSAs, Heather, are they talking about radio PSAs? What are they talking about?
So in the email, there's some different options. There's 2 different PSAs kind of scripted, and you can do just the audio. It's a 30-second, or you can video yourself and you can send it in. So they're doing it radio, television, and then they also are asking for social media, like a picture of yourself and just a 1-line sentence, I got vaccinated because, and they've got a website that they're posting all of those.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Thanks so much, Heather, for sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you betcha. Anybody else have any events, info, things happening? Okay, we'll keep moving. We'll keep on keeping on. So, hey, Fortuna Sunrise Rotary Club's all fired up. So what are we all fired up about? Well, you know, our club and board has decided that first responders are a great cause, and even more focused, our local volunteer fire department. So how do we raise funds in this world that we're currently living? Why not a pickup dinner coupled together with a virtual event Saturday, May 22nd. We're getting down there, everybody. Batten down the hatches. It's just a couple weeks away. Simultaneously, we'll also be doing a non-perishable food drive for our friends at Food for People. The food will be prepared, you know, not the non-perishable food, but the food that we're cooking for the event, the tri-tip, the beans, the salad. It'll all be prepared at the Fortuna Fire Department with the help of our local firefighters. And then later that night, a virtual event, an auction, bingo game. It'll all take place over Zoom, except for the auction will take place on Carl Johnson's website for about 4 days, but it'll wrap up on Zoom that night. It'll be our last big push. Hey, and opportunity alert. All right. You want to get out there in the community. You feel like you've been stuck at home for a long time. Maybe help our club out. We've got 300 beautifully printed numbered tickets for our event. And almost 100 of those are already called for. And we've got 2 fantastic ticket locations, but we don't have a member to organize, distribute, and keep track of these tickets. This would be a great opportunity once again to get out there in the community, hobnob with a couple of banks in our area. I don't know. Is there anybody that might want to take on this responsibility? Probably require a little bit of spreadsheet action, possibly going around the streets of Fortuna to take them to our sponsors and stuff like that. Anybody, would you please help us out? Great opportunity. No, nobody's interested. See how you are. Okay. I'm just double checking. No, I don't see anybody waving me. All right. Okay. So we got printed tickets, so nobody distribute them. Fantastic. We'll keep trying to find somebody. Hopefully somebody will step up to the plate here.
Yeah, Simon, I can help deliver the tickets.
Okay.
I can help do that. I'm not going to be here for 10 days prior to the event, so it's going to have to be some of the early on stuff, but I'd be happy to deliver
Hey,
to.
Yeah, maybe
Simon, I could work with John and do the spreadsheet stuff and he'll do the delivering.
that sounds like an awesome little team up there. I love the collab. Please, that'd be amazing.
Who was that?
That was
Fred.
Fred from the hospital, or from the in the hospital gown, I should say. I'm not sure where you're at exactly, Fred. But that's outstanding.
Hey, John, I can help you out with delivery.
Okay, so it sounds like we got a trio there. Fantastic. Thank you so much. See, that's what service above self's all about. Thank you so very much. Awesome. Cool. I will link up with all three of you soon. I'll get the tickets, I guess, in Fred's hands. You can start creating your spreadsheet with the numbers, and then John and Kurt will distribute them like a well-oiled machine. Thank you so much. Hey, and this is an official shout out yet, but I might as well plug some of our sponsors for this event. We got Edward Jones. They're helping us out with this event. Co-Central Credit Union. Yes. ALSB. Thank you so very much. Wyatt, Whitchurch, and Anderson, our friends at Redwood Capital Bank. Don't forget our friends at Tri-Counties Bank. Thank you so very much. Sequoia Gas, they're helping us out with all things all fired up, maybe some propane to get the fire even hotter. And also some of our outstanding club members like John Sapper, Jeff Nelson, and Scott Downey. Thank you so very much. Yeah, you guys are outstanding. Cool. Why not, since we're talking about food for people, right, and that non-perishable food drive, why not backpacks for kids? It's our local partnership, or our partnership with Food for People. We get food in the hands of folks with food insecurities. This week, we have Debbie and Jim Scaife, Shirley Lipa, and Jeannie Wise. They're going to be packing those backpacks up with food. And next week, we got Buster and Lori Garrison, as well as Shirley Lipa. And when I was looking at that list, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looked like we had maybe an open spot next week, or are we covered?
I haven't looked yet, but we are packing about 150 bags each week. So anyone that wants to help, you don't need to sign up. You can just show up. That would really help. And I wanted to give a shout out to Herb for subbing for me while I was out on vacation, and to Kurt for delivering. We deliver bags on Friday to those kids that are sick and are unable to pick up their bags at school or are being homeschooled. So Kurt and Jeannie delivered those bags on Friday. So any extra help is appreciated. And if you feel the urge, just show up at about 3 o'clock on Wednesdays and lend a hand. We usually have about 6 to 8 people, and it sure makes it go smoothly if we have that number. So thanks.
Thank you. Outstanding. Yeah, thanks for the Rotarians. Like, you know, we see a lot of folks on this list that aren't members of our club. Behind the scenes, there's tons of our club members that are
absolutely
making this happen. So thank you, each and every one of you. And I mean, just going by the Sign Me Up Genius thing, looks like next week we might have one less person than they normally have. So if you've got the capacity, go up, show up down there. Might be a great way to just get out there and do some service, right? I know I'm fiending for it. Okay. So, yeah, each week I and I took last week off. That was my only one. I apologize for that. But each week I've been introducing an artist and having a little conversation about art, because hey, I love art. I'm an art educator, and why not just expose us to a little bit of art? So this week we'll be looking at an artist named Yinka Ilori. Now, let's go a little further, shall we? Yinka Ilori is a London-based multidisciplinary artist of British Nigerian heritage who specializes in storytelling by infusing his British and Nigerian heritage to tell new stories in contemporary design. He began his practice in 2011, upcycling vintage furniture, inspired by traditional Nigerian parables and West African fabrics that surrounded him as a child. And here we've got some examples of his work. So it kind of borders in the realm of interior design, just design in general. And then I love this use of these bright Nigerian fabric colors. And anybody who knows me knows I love red, yes. But I also love patterns, super obsessed with them, right? They're just amazing. We've got a mural. We've got some beautiful, brightly colored stairs with little chairs on top of them, and then this cute little set of kids' chairs up there, and they're just so bright and colorful. They just, I don't know, cut your eyes. They're almost so edgy. It's just fantastic. So really cool. I like the composition too of this like playful kiddie land in the left-hand side, but then above you kind of got this industrial, I don't know, architecture kind of thing going on with this curved semicircle room. Really cool stuff. Hey, let's look some more. Why not? So color, humorous, provocative, and fun. Each piece of the furniture he creates tells a story, bringing these Nigerian verbal traditions into a playful conversation in contemporary design. That he's created the studio that actually puts this out. So there's a whole bunch of artists now all working together to kind of create his dream. And they're a team of these color-obsessed architects and designers with the expertise and capacity to take on large-scale architectural and interior design projects. The studio continues to experiment with a relationship between function and form, with an output that sits between traditional divisions of art and design. And here we've got some more exterior, like architectural pieces here. I think they call the place on the right the Color Palace. It's just, once again, the colors are just so striking. It's tough when you start working with color as an artist. It's tough to be so bold and throw lots of colors together and make it work. It's very challenging. And this guy just pulls it off so very well. And then we've got this exterior piece at night with these cool little uplights and stuff, just like fantastic little garden that you want to go and hang out in. So, art is interior design too, right? And actually one of our past exchange students, I think, is studying, Paulina, in Germany, is I think in her last leg of interior design school and an internship right now too. So there's careers in it too, right? So that I love seeing that as an artist too, careers in art. Not that we shouldn't just make art for our souls, but careers in art are good too, right? Okay, so for the last slide, I'm going to call on a Rotarian, and they're going to help me by critiquing, talking about, discussing, interpreting the medium. And this morning, I think I'm going to call on Rotarian Ross Rowley. Where are you at?
Okay, my first the way I interpreted this by looking at it, it looked like I was visiting back to school days at Target.
Back to school days at Target. Okay, yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Because the way they do their merchandising with their products is a lot of garish, bright, just in your face colors. And if you look at the Target logos and their design patterns, it's always just boom, right in your face. And there's a ton of bright colors. What's that designer who does clothing? It's he's a guy that's like I don't know what his name is, but his are bright colors too. And that's what I noticed about, if you could go back a page on your,
yeah, you bet.
It's very interesting that part of Africa is not only bright in their color choices and their art, but also their music. It's always very crystalline and bright and cheery and never a dull moment kind of thing. I would say he pretty much reflects the whole lifestyle of that part of, where part of Africa is he from?
Nigeria.
Yeah. It just seems to be that's what I see when I think of those parts of Africa as those bright colors. And I'm guessing that maybe is that indicative of the landscape, the environment they're in. I don't know.
Possibly, yeah. The the textiles for sure. This particular piece is called Christmas Tree. Any comments on that?
Yeah, we'd have that in our house.
Yeah, do you? Wait,
No, but we had a ladder last year, which was actually just a industrial ladder, and with the ladder, we festooned with ornaments and lights, and that's Aaron Dunn's little side things. But we've had Dr. Seuss trees and things like that. And one year we had Starbucks was throwing out their Christmas tree decorations. We go, we'll take those. And those, rather than having a live tree, we have various things like that.
So it's great that you shared a personal story, because that's another thing that art should do, right? It's personal in a lot of ways, and how we interpret art is personal, and where it takes our mind is personal and subjective, right? And so in this piece, you know, A Christmas Piece, you immediately started thinking about, you know, your tree and maybe the industrial flavor of it, and also the kind of the square lines on this as well. Yeah. Any final comments? Any other Rotarian want to jump in? And
Yes.
I see a couple hands up. Yeah, please.
Don Jewett, while the colors are what gets your attention in this Christmas tree piece in particular, and also in the colored palace, but the other thing I want to point out is that there's a lot of woodworking going on here. The getting that kind of pyramidal shaped base and all of those slats, and that's no small job getting that woodwork done also.
Yeah, he's a builder. He's got understanding of construction, right? And making measurements, and yeah, you put me in the wood shop, I wouldn't create something like that. Not a chance. Kurt, maybe Dawn. I thought I saw hands going.
I got a comment.
Yeah, please.
It's just interesting in all this that they use real basic shapes, but then they use color to make it look wild and crazy.
Yeah.
But all the shapes, everything's either square or round or rectangular.
Real basic shapes, as you're seeing in my virtual background here. But yeah, with those bright colors, it just
it really jumps at you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Final thoughts? Scott Downey, I saw your hand go up, but it looks like you're muted, my friend. Oh, we still can't hear you, bud. Look for that unmute.
John Watkins wants to know about the dog in the background.
Oh, the dog in the background? Oh, that dog painting is pretty fantastic too. I have no info on that. It kind of looks like a Chihuahua. Is that in the chat? Oh, here, let me pull up the chat so I'm looking at that too.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you, everybody.
I was saying that the light, his use of light is also very active in being important to the sculpture.
Yeah. Once again, those uplights in this piece, right? There, here, the kind of flat lighting on that left-hand side piece. But yes, lighting is very key too. How you light your artwork and how it sits in the place, right? When you're doing kind of an installation. Great observations here, everybody. Fantastic. Cool. Wait, well, let's bring it back to Ross, because he's really the one I'm picking on this morning with all this. Ross, I think it's pretty fantastic. I would say the only thing that maybe you got away from was just focusing on the art itself a little bit. So for that, I'll let you off easy. How about $5? Are you in the Century Club, sir?
Why, yes, I am, but I would be willing to pass that along.
Who would you be willing to pass that along to? I mean, who's shy?
You know who's shy is Angela Johnson.
Oh man, and she doesn't even have her screen on this morning, so we're definitely gonna have to hit her. Yeah, $5 to Angela.
Sounds great. Thanks, Ross.
This will be our last chance to find Angela before her presidential year, so we better get in while we can.
You have a bit to go on her. I'd pick on her harshly.
Pick on her harshly, he says. Okay, well, let's see. We'll keep going a little bit further here. I've got just one or two last little things. So each week I'm recognizing Rotarians for their outstandingness. Sometimes I draw pictures of them. I tell little stories. I use symbology. And sometimes they do weird Photoshop things that are just, I don't know, downright disturbing. So why not some of that? Why not some more of that? Let's see here. Has anybody, music fans out there? You know, maybe you've heard of this album right here. Oh, little album by Peter Fennell. I'm in You by Pete Fennell. What? Peter, what do you have to say for yourself? Look at that shirt there. Chest hair coming out. That's fantastic.
Hey, Simon, actually, were you sneaking in my profile pic on Facebook? Is that what's going on?
I was.
Yeah, that long hair got me all the way through the 90s. Some of the Rotarians here will dwell over those beautiful locks. But you see that chest hair?
You've got business in the front, I see too, you know, little just short, some bangs just to kind of keep it professional.
Yes. Yes, that was one of my college photos, you know, that I went through. A little fade, you know, those midlife crises always kind of hit you close to home. And so, but I've diverted. You see, I trimmed it back a little bit.
Hey,
I'm definitely owning it, but I still have the pants.
Good. When we get back in person, we have to see those pants. Okay.
They're slowly but surely coming back to the generation, but definitely you will not see me in public with those pants. I only wear them for the closed environment that I pull those out, but somehow you got the pic. So
wow.
Simon, that's got to be like, what does that cost me? I mean,
I don't know, man. The fact that you still have those pants, I think is a lot of money right there. But how about $10? You cool with that?
That sounds wonderful.
Hey, Peter, you're in the Century Club.
What?
Really?
Oh man, you get to pass this on too. Do you have Ross, maybe another person that might be deserving?
Peter, pick on somebody and I'll tell you.
No, I'm going to. You know, we have Alison, our speaker here, so we can't really do that. So I'm going to go to, how about, let's do this. I think that I could probably hand those pants off and they could pull it off. How about, what's Keith Borges? Is he in the Century
he's
Club
in
there?
He's in the Century Club.
Oh, he is. Okay. So we'll leave Keith alone.
How would those pants look like on Angela Johnson?
Yeah, just keep giving it to
Really?
Angela Johnson.
Angela just got picked on, and so how about
Yeah,
Jeff? Where's he at? Jeff?
Jeff, he's in the Century Club.
Jeez. So Ross, give me some options here.
I'm busy.
Well, you've got Herb Colby.
Ooh.
Okay. Oh.
And you've got Chris Broadstock.
Oh.
Penny
Hey,
Fragile.
I'm gonna have to go. Sorry, Chris. I'm gonna have to go with you, good buddy, because I could definitely see you wearing these into the office someday. You know, because you guys are counter up. You know, from the waist up, taking care of customers.
Tri-County's power suit right there.
Yes, and it would go right along with your Mike MC, your attire that you have already from the previous meeting. So,
oh boy!
All right, $10 to Chris Broadstock. There it is.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Peter, for playing. Hey, since we're always looking at artists too, let's do one more of these. Why not? Hey, does any? Oh gosh, I went way too far back now. Let's see. Can I get back? How about this? People like to paint? Huh? Anybody recognize this famous Bob painter right here? Anybody?
Looks like Seth.
Seth, okay. Look at those glasses. Look at that little button nose there. This is before the hair started kind of turn a little bit silver and majestic, but Bob,
that's beautiful. That's fine.
What do you have to say for yourself? I didn't know you had painting as a hobby and an afro back in the day.
You know, I don't like to blow my own horn there, Simon, but yeah, that is sort of got me looking like a wolf man is the impression I get from this bit of art, Simon.
It's like Abraham Lincoln. You got the little chin beard, right? No mustache, but just the beard, right? Little chin strap going on there.
That's horrifying. Yeah. There's been a resurgence of Bob Ross related art in the world.
Yes.
If you are ever on Reddit, there's just an endless stream of Bob Ross inspired paintings and people taking his old lessons. And so there it is. What's this going to cost me, Simon?
Oh man, I don't. The fact that you're on Reddit, I find even more intriguing. Let's just keep it with 10 a pop. I think it's definitely worth it. I mean,
You're in the Century Club.
And he's in the Century Club too.
But I tell you what, Simon, I had a couple of events at my house over the past couple of weeks. My daughter Candy moved back from Boise with my 2 grandkids, and Teresa and I celebrated our 40th wedding anniversary. So how about if I just put $50 towards polio?
Love it. Thank you so much, Bob. Outstanding. Well, let's see. I think I'm done with this. So I'm going to pass it over to our program chair, Aaron Dunn, who will introduce this week's program.
Hey, Simon.
Yes.
Simon, before we move along, last weekend we celebrated our 39th wedding anniversary.
Oh, awesome.
So let's put $39 towards foundation.
Love it. Thank you, Jeff. Awesome. Congratulations. 39 years. That's a lot of love right there. All right, Aaron, take it away, my friend.
All right. Thank you, President Simon. It's my pleasure to introduce this morning Alison Sterling Nichols. Alison grew up in Michigan and has been in Humboldt for over 25 years. She moved here for graduate school at HSU, but never left because she loves it here so much. She works on projects that bring the community together and is currently working on a countywide relaunching of our Humboldt COAD, which stands for Community Organizations Active in Disaster. So thank you, Alison, for being here this morning, and we look forward to hearing more about the relaunch.
Great, thank you, Erin. This is hilarious. Like, I knew I was getting up to participate in a Rotary meeting, which I have not done in a number of years, and I really did not anticipate how much fun it was going to be and how much fun you all have at this point of the day. So thank you for the entertainment. And thank you, Erin, for asking me to join you today. She was one of the first people to contact me when I got this new position, and I really appreciate your enthusiasm. And it really fits well with Rotary. And so I'm really excited to tell you about it. And you might already know about the COAD, but I will back up a little bit because it's a sort of awkward acronym. Community Organizations Active in Disaster doesn't roll off the tongue. Most people that I meet with that know about COADs are also stumble when they try and explain it. That's often also known as a VOAD, which are Volunteer Organizations Active in Disaster. But since it's often not volunteers, it sort of changed to communities to clarify that. So I live up in West Haven. So just a little bit of my background real quick is, as Erin mentioned, I've been here in Humboldt for over 25 years, went to Humboldt State for natural resources management, graduate school, and stayed. And I work on a lot of different projects in the community where we can find common ground and all work together. And so I was excited when I saw this posted in January that they were relaunching the COAD and looking for someone to coordinate the relaunch. So I'm on a 6-month contract through the end of August to coordinate. We've had a COAD and it didn't quite have the structure or the capacity to be what we need in the community. And so Humboldt Area Foundation and Smallin Foundation and CR, my contracts with working with Marty Coelho over at College of the Redwoods. A bunch of folks got together to relaunch it, and sort of based on the model that Napa has. Napa has a really effective COAD. They had a 3-year strategic plan to launch their COAD, and then the fires hit. So it got pared down to about a month. And so I've been in contact with their launch coordinator and their current director, and also Sonoma to they've been really generous with their materials to help us launch COAD in our community without starting from scratch. And so, what a COAD is, for those who might not be familiar, is it's a way to organize the community when something happens, a fire, earthquake, some sort of disaster, preparing ahead of time and helping pull together nonprofit organizations, faith-based community, Rotarians, everyone in the community who has something to bring that can help. Food for People. It's been interesting hearing about some of the things you're working on because they're some of the same folks that I'm working with, and working with the county. I'm working with Ryan Derby at OES, Office of Emergency Services, and other folks at the county level. So they have their protocols for when something happens. But then there's all these folks in the community that also want to help. And who helps organize that? How do we avoid duplicative efforts? How do we make sure folks who need food get food? How do we make sure that one community doesn't get twice the food they need and another doesn't get any at all? How do we work that incident command structure of mobilizing folks who aren't at the county level? And so that's basically what a COAD does, is help to organize folks to help our friends and neighbors through disaster. And so we have been, as I mentioned, working on the sort of NAPA model, which is really effective and really helpful. I've pulled together a launch committee, and we're in the very preliminary stage of not even getting into the work that the COAD will do, but how do you set yourself up for the work? NAPA and Sonoma both are not nonprofits. They have fiscal sponsors. And so what's the structure? Is it a board of directors or is it an executive committee? What are the bylaws? Who are you answering to? Like what's the preliminary organizational structure? And at this point, our launch committee mission statement that we just worked on at a meeting we had last Thursday is the Humboldt Community Organizations Active in Disaster, or COAD, seeks to develop and enhance partnerships for communication, coordination, and collaboration within our entire community, including tribes, nonprofit and faith-based organizations, government agencies, and the private sector before and throughout a disaster, including prevention, mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery. So we're looking at what can we do preliminarily to set ourselves up for success when something happens, and then during the kind of trauma time of a disaster, and then recovery, rebuilding afterwards. And this seems like a really, I should be working with you all on this. I'm really glad to be telling you about this because it seems like a really good fit because you're so focused on service in the community. And that's exactly what this is about. So one of the aspects of it is what's the private sector role and what's the business role? Because it's not just nonprofits, it's also folks who have resources who want to help when something happens. And so I've been working with REDEC. You had mentioned REDEC earlier, Redwood Region Economic Development Commission. Greg Foster's on our launch committee. And I've also been attending the CERC meetings, the COVID Economic Resilience Commission meetings, consortium meetings, and kind of exploring how that will tie into the business community and not so nonprofits, faith-based, tribes, and also the business sector, and also community service organizations. So there will be the launch is, as I mentioned, I'm on a contract through the end of August. So that'll be in August. And so we'll be doing some media around that. I'm happy to, maybe through Aaron, I could send information to you that could then be sent out to the group. And I can enter my email into your chat. And here we go. And so if anyone wants to get involved at this point, as I mentioned, we're really in the preliminary stage of creating a foundation that's strong enough for us to stand upon to do this important work. And we want to make sure that everything's in place so that we don't get out ahead of ourselves. So there are people historically for like a decade who have been interested in doing this in our community. So I'm creating a database, making sure we have people's cell phone numbers in case the power's out, and sort of identifying how our own incident command would be mobilized in conjunction with the county. And because when they send out important information, we want to make sure we're coordinated in sending out the same information. So it's really exciting, and we really, everyone who I've worked with thus far sees a real need for this. So I'm working with folks who are, not just Food for People, but food distribution organizations and agencies, seniors, folks with mobility issues, language barriers, tribal distribution, or just, I mean, as you know, when a big earthquake hits, we're all affected. And so we're just finding ways to be able to help everyone in the community across the board. And if anyone has ideas about it, please feel free to email me, and I'd love to talk to you about it.
Hey, Allison, Ross Rowley here. I'm not sure that your organizations know this, but Rotary in our district, which is from Petaluma to Crescent City, has begun a disaster relief funding through the years, and our northern clubs, we keep it on the table when our presidents meet, because it's also very much in our minds too. Because of the fires that happened down in Sonoma County and Napa County, that fund grew incredibly, and it was something that Rotarians all got behind. And they are also reaching out to organizations like yours. So it might be top of mind to think of Rotary in these instances, and we can give you information to those funding organizations, and they're mostly Rotary based, but they're part of the big community. And it's something Rotarians have been doing for a long time. And the last little group we funded was when the tsunami was up in Crescent City, and it took out the boat docks and those kinds of things.
Right.
So it would be wise to keep Rotary in the minds of this group in some fashion, because when that event happens, when that earthquake happens, we'll be able to mobilize as a core group also.
That is really good to know. Thank you for mentioning that. And certainly one of the biggest parts of the launch that we're working on is how do you launch something if you don't know if it can financially exist moving forward? And we don't want to launch it and have it fall flat on its face. So funding is a big issue, and it's such a fundable project because it's so necessary, and we do need to be coordinated when something happens. But there's not a lot of state funding, and Napa and Sonoma are finding philanthropic giving is how they're getting funded through grants and vintners, and other private entities like that. So if there is a possibility of any funding through Rotary, that would be really wonderful. And I've got some folks that I could put you in touch with to discuss that moving forward. We've had some really generous folks fund the relaunch, but part of my job in a successful launch feels like making sure that it's going to continue to exist. So that's something I'm really focused on.
Yeah, Allison, this is John here. How do your efforts compare or contrast with the Office of Emergency Services, which address similar issues?
So I'm working with the Office of Emergency Services. Ryan Derby over at OES is on the launch committee. We're making sure that a COAD is complementary to the county's responses in an emergency, and he sees a real need for that. Also, Heather Muller, I've been in contact with, who's running the COVID response, amazing system they have at the Eureka Library, and while they see a need for it, they have full-time jobs themselves. And so they've wanted to see a community organization step forward and fill the gaps of things the county can't necessarily, it doesn't do, and do like sort of a gap analysis of what we need to do to help them. And so Ryan's input is really, really helpful. We've only had 2 meetings of the launch committee. It's going to be every 2 weeks, and our last one was last week. So this is very new. But my understanding from working with OES thus far in the past couple months is that we all need a similar response structure or incident command system, so that we all have the same protocol and vocabulary, so that people understand the liaison responses in each area: food sector, tribal, seniors. And so one of the things we were trying to fundraise for that has really worked well in Napa and Sonoma is they offer training to their member organizations so that they all have the same incident command protocol. And that complements OES because that's a set standard for incident command structures. And so we're working on having member organizations who all do internal training and getting that funded so that they can all have their own protocols for what do you do when something happens. For instance, food for people, their building collapses. Where do they decide to meet, in the morning if they don't have a place to go? And every program will have their own incident command protocol, but it'll all be reflective of OES's protocol so that we're all operating in sync with each other. And we'll be working with them as far as, getting their information out to make sure that we're correctly informing the community based on what OES is wanting to get out there.
Question. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. I was wondering where CERT fits in with this. Community.
That's an
emergency
excellent
response team?
question. Yeah. I've learned about CERC. I have not yet plugged in with CERC. I'm working with folks who are like CERC certified, but it will coordinate with CERC. Right now we're working with somebody whose name is Larry Masterman, and he's a disaster preparedness professional who's based in Weaverville, but he has been in the field since the late 70s and is incredibly knowledgeable, and he's who trained Ryan Derby, who's head of our operation of emergency services, and he's a big CERC proponent and knows those folks. And so we'll be working in coordination with them. We aren't yet just because it's also new, but it will enhance.
On the list. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any other questions for Allison this morning? Allison, thank you so very much for coming and sharing about COAD and all things emergency. We appreciate you so much. And
I have to be a Rotarian. Can I do it back?
no, do it back. Yeah. We started doing this because, clapping on Zoom doesn't really work. And
That's great.
sign language, this means applause. So,
all right.
You can see it light up when everybody's clapping,
You're right.
Thank
you so much. I'll definitely keep you posted moving forward. It's so early, but it's just it's good to inform you that we're starting, and we'll let you know what's happening. And I think there's a really strong role for Rotary in as a partnership. It's really exciting.
We'd love to collaborate and partner with you. 100%.
Thank you.
Thank you, Allison. Awesome. Sweet. Well, before we all get out of here, we're going to do a drawing. Why not? Untold fortunes could be won, or wait, no, it's just $50, right? We gave it away last week. So I'm going to dip into the magical mayonnaise jar of wonder here and pull out a ticket. On that will be a name. And then I will draw a ball. The ball will tell us how much that person potentially won or didn't. Who's it going to be? Looks like this morning it is Rick Sinner. Rick, you still here, my friend? Yeah, you are. I see you.
I'm here.
Rick Sinner, past president, charter president of the club, submarine guy. What else? Oh, cardboard box creator, right? The cardboard king. What are you going to get? I want to do a cardboard build with Rick Sinner. That's what I want to do. That would be so fun. Let's see. Oh, you didn't win. Yeah, you got Fine Master. Fine Master. You want to be a Fine Master sometime, Rick?
Sure, we'll work it out one of these days.
Yeah, talk to Ross and figure out who's close to Century Club but hasn't made it yet. Let's get these last few scallywags.
Simon Rios is a long ways from the Century Club.
I probably am.
Yeah, I'll do it in a couple of weeks. So
okay,
let's touch with Ross.
Yeah, keep in touch with me, and we'll make time for it. Super. Thanks so much.
We'll do.
Cool. Anybody else? Anything else before we part? Allison, thank you so very much for joining us this morning. It was nice having you. You're always welcome back. And rest of our club, thank you so much for being outstanding Rotarians. Have a marvelous Wednesday. Enjoy your day. This club meeting is adjourned.
Everybody.